Lesson 4. Preview. Focus on the main idea. Finding peace and happiness is at the heart of Buddhism. Places. Bodh Gaya. Vocabulary. Meditation. Enlightenment. Terms. Buddhism. The Buddha. Four Noble Truths. Eightfold Path. Buddhism. You are there. The barefoot man before you wears an orange robe. You watch him walk to the top of a hill. There is no one else around. He sits silently and closes his eyes. He looks so serious, yet so peaceful. You're not sure what he is doing. He continues to sit on the grass with crossed legs. He seems so at ease and comfortable. You wonder what he could be thinking about. His hands are together in front of him. You look at his shaven head. The winds start to pick up, but the man doesn't move. Later that day, you pass the same hill. The man is still sitting there in the same position. Has he been there all this time? He rises and walks back down the hill. There he meets other men who are dressed just like him. All of them are barefoot and have shaven heads. They walk silently together through the village. Target scale. Summarize. As you read, combine the main facts about Buddhism. Who was the Buddha? The 6th century BC was a time of conflict and religious questioning in Asia. According to Buddhist tradition, the man who became the Buddha was born during this period. The religion he founded was established in India in the 4th century BC. In the next century, Emperor Ashoka spread Buddhism throughout South Asia. From India, Buddhism spread throughout East and Southeast Asia. Siddhartha Gautama, the man who came to be known as the Buddha, or the Enlightened One, was born about 563 BC. He was born just south of the Himalayas. His father, who was a wealthy ruler, was told that his son would be a great king if he stayed at home, or a great teacher if he left. When Siddhartha was born, his father protected him from the world, keeping him within the palace walls. When Siddhartha was an adult, he left the palace. For the first time in his life, he saw a sick person in a nearby village. Then he saw a monk who had no possessions and seemed to be calm and free from suffering. After thinking about these experiences, Siddhartha left his comfortable life in the palace and began his lifelong journey. Review. How would you summarize the early life of Siddhartha according to Buddhist tradition? Summarize. Literature and social studies. The Jataka Tales. The Jatakas include some 500 stories the Buddha might have told. They are popular among many Buddhists. Animals are characters in a number of the tales. What message does the verse below give? When you are made responsible, the job is up to you. And if you give that job to others, you're to blame for what they do. From Jataka Tales, edited by Nancy de Royan. The Buddha's Travels. Siddhartha joined a group of men who also sought understanding and simple living. For 6 years, they fasted, living on very little food. The monks believed that by giving up what the body needs, they might better understand what the spirit needs. They practiced meditation, a way of clearing the mind. Siddhartha felt weak and left the group. He ate, was refreshed, and began his journey again. According to Buddhist tradition, sitting silently under a tree near the town now called Bodh Gaya, Siddhartha meditated for a while. When he saw a beautiful morning star, he realized that he had never lost what he was looking for. Wonder of wonders, this very enlightenment is the nature of all beings, and yet they are unhappy for lack of it. All people, he realized, had the power within them to be free from suffering. He then became enlightened and became known as the Buddha. For nearly 50 years, he traveled and taught. His followers believe that he spoke to all people, using a language that everyone could understand. The Buddha stressed that people, not just priests, could achieve enlightenment, or a state of pure goodness. His words showed a peaceful and tolerant way of looking at the world. Review. How are Buddhist beliefs different from Hindu beliefs? Compare and contrast. 4 and 8. Buddhism is based on 4 noble truths about human suffering. The Buddha used these truths to understand his enlightenment. The 4 noble truths. 1. Suffering is part of life for all people. 2. People suffer because they want so many things in life. 3. If people can free themselves from wanting so many things, they will not suffer. 4. People can free themselves from wants and from suffering by following the Eightfold Path. Buddhists also believe in the Eightfold Path, a way of living that can help them find relief from their suffering. According to Buddhists, the Eightfold Path recommends that people develop 3 qualities: wisdom, morality, and meditation. The Eightfold Path recommends actions, efforts, or ways of thinking that will help Buddhists develop these qualities. Review. What are the 4 noble truths of Buddhism? Main idea and details. Summarize the lesson. According to Buddhist tradition, Buddhism was founded by Siddhartha Gautama. The main Buddhist beliefs include the 4 noble truths and the Eightfold Path. Buddhism gradually spread to other parts of Asia. Lesson 4.